Following the smash hit success that was the Super Mario Bros. Movie in 2023, Mario returns to the big screen in a sequel, a cosmic world-crossing sequel where the plumbers journey across planets. The places are bigger than ever, the stakes are bigger than ever, and I couldn't say that Mario is better than ever. Yeah, that's right. I thought the Super Mario Galaxy movie kind of sucked. Yeah, I know, clearly a bunch of people who saw it are loving it. At the time of writing this, it's already made over $450 million worldwide, and is tracked to be one of the year's few billion-dollar movies. Kids are eating this up, and you know what? That's great. It's keeping theatres alive, and I really don't want to come across as though I'm trying to spoil anyone's fun, but I've got to be honest, this movie has many serious problems. It's the perfect embodiment of soulless corporate filmmaking. Let me explain. Hi all, I'm the Grinning Critic and I love talking about movies with a grin. And unfortunately today, I cannot talk about the Super Mario Galaxy movie with a grin on my face, as I view this movie as being a very disappointing sequel. Now, I really enjoyed the Super Mario Bros. Movie way back in 2023. Despite it not having the strongest script ever, it made up for that by being a fun cinematic adaptation of several Mario games. In fact, I had such a good time with it, I went to see it a second time, and I liked it a tad bit more in rewatch. And that's something that I almost never do. So yeah, I was keen on a sequel. I was hoping that within the story department, they just played it safe within the first movie, so that could be a surefire success, and they were going to use this movie's success as a way to take some more risk with the sequel. And unfortunately, we could not have gotten further from that. This is a sterile corporate project, one devoid of any creativity or passion. It feels like Illumination were given a checklist of Nintendo iconography that had to be shown, forced into the movie, as opposed to a film with something interesting to say about Mario. I've seen other people liken this film to the work produced by AI, and while I think that criticism is a little harsh, I can see why these parallels are being made. This feels like the filmmakers are using cheat codes as a way of trying to maximize this movie's chances of making $1 billion. Now, there is absolutely nothing wrong with trying to make your movie as commercially viable as possible, because let's face it, most movies are made with the intention of making money. It's wrong when it feels like that's the only reason why a movie is being made. There's no artistry or integrity behind it, it just comes from greed. And look, a lot can be forgiven for including a bunch of Easter eggs and references if they are written into the movie's plot, which I do believe the first movie did a fairly good job at. Here, however, the references largely come across as forced and annoying. A lot of these references are done through subplots and side characters that serve little to no purpose towards the actual story, and I think this really isn't helped by the movie's very clunky structure. Normally, a film is split into a 3-act structure, a beginning, a middle, and an end. This movie doesn't have 3 acts. I suppose you could argue that the final battle is the 3rd act, but I couldn't tell you what was the 1st or 2nd act of this movie. It all feels like one big hodgepodge. Now look, I've seen a bunch of people respond to this movie's criticisms by saying that it's just a movie made for kids, and that we shouldn't be taking it too seriously. But I largely view that as an excuse for a movie to be bad. Every single year, there are several awesome movies that are made with kids as their target audience, and I never see discussions like, it's just for kids, happening when those movies come out. And if anything, I kind of view it as a negative if a movie is being made just for kids, because then no one else can enjoy a movie. And I'd argue that this movie is largely just made for kids, which is a real shame, as there's going to be a bunch of older people who want to see this movie who grew up playing Mario games, and they're probably going to be largely unamused by this movie. The voice acting was largely subpar. Chris Pratt just feels like he's playing himself and gives no real effort into voicing Mario, which is sad, as I have loved a lot of the work he's done in the past. Same goes for most of the rest of the cast. Brie Larson, Anya Taylor-Joy, all round just a bunch of performances that feel as though they were nothing but the actors taking an easy paycheck. The few exceptions, however, are Benny Safdie as Bowser Jr., who was quite energetic in his role, alongside Jack Black as Bowser, who once again was great. The other decent performance was Glenn Powell, who plays a character who wasn't revealed in the movie's trailers, but Universal stupidly decided to reveal was in the movie a week before the movie came out. So if you don't want to know which character I'm talking about, click off this video right now before I say its name. I'm of course talking about Fox McCloud. And speaking of him, I thought that his appearance in this movie was largely unnecessary to the movie's overall story, but a nice addition all the same. Side note, I would love a Star Fox movie. Please make it great. The one element of this movie that I would, however, call an improvement in comparison to its predecessor is its animation. This is a beautiful looking movie. I love the bright, high contrast color scheme that the animators have utilized to make this movie pop. The action sequences are well storyboarded and framed. There's one particularly great action sequence in the third act that directly models a set of early Mario video games, which I thought was done really well. As for the humour, it's somewhat hit and miss. This movie can sometimes tell some really funny jokes, but there were a lot of jokes in this movie that just didn't really land for me. Ultimately, the Super Mario Galaxy movie is a piece of mindless slop. While the animation is stunning and there are some funny jokes, I largely found this movie to be a frustrating movie that was devoid of a soul. What a disappointment. I'm gonna give the Super Mario Galaxy movie a C-. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm the Grinning Critic, and don't forget to subscribe to me. It'll make me grin again, that's for sure.